Had to wait until this morning, and it's my pleasure now to announce that we are joined by Commissioner Fode Gassama, who is Commissioner Processing. Thanks for starting your day here, Commissioner. Where would you like to begin?
Thank you very much, Peter. I would like to begin by thanking you first for availing us the opportunity to come here to respond to this letter. As a department, we are a service provider to the people, and we cannot but continue to engage with the people to explain to them how we provide these services. And if they have concerns and they raise it, we take the opportunity to come and clear those doubts, or sometimes what I refer to as misconceptions. Mm-hmm. So we would like to thank you very much for that. If I may proceed, I just want to give a bit of context to the MRP passport. Mm-hmm. The MRP passport system was built since 2002. This is about 23 years ago, when we migrated from manual passports. You remember we had manual passports. Some of them were handwritten, and then we had one that was done by electric typewriters and so on. But eventually, due to ICAO regulations, we had to migrate like many other countries, to
ICAO is the International
Civil Aviation Organization that regulates issues of travel and travel documents. Yes. So, like many other countries, we also migrated to the MRP. Those are passports that has an MRZ, that's machine readable zone, whereby they can easily be read by machines at border crossings at the airports or borders. So we did this, we migrated to this passport in 2002, and the entire system was built by a British company known as Dearu. This company, some years back, it has since ceased operations, and the operations was taken over by another company known as HID. And it's the same company that we procure the books from, because they built a system that is capable of reading or printing their books. But that company ceased in operation, like I said, since I can't remember, but some years back.
Okay.
And
this is Dearu.
This is Dearu.
Okay.
And the operations was taken over by HID. Anyways, so one misconception that came from the letter is that the writer asked, why did we give the contract to another company before this contract elapsed?
Why did you not?
Why did we not?
Yes.
Contract another company?
Yes, if this contract was going to end in 3 months' time, and you knew you were not going to renew it, why not start looking for a replacement now?
So that is the misconception. The MRP passport has never been operated by any company. The Dearu built the system, and immediately transferred the system. The system is operated 100% by the Gambia Immigration Department since its inception. The only support we had from Dearu was some troubleshooting, some trainings, and some technical support, but that did not mean that they operated the system. Okay. The system was 100% managed and operated by the Gambia Immigration since inception. So because the system is too old now, we have had frequent issues relating to its operation because of the age. And because the software also, sometimes they get expired, and because Dearu is not in existence, we find it difficult to update them until such time that they are really struggling. And what we did...
Did they also build the software?
Yeah.
They developed the software?
They developed the software. Okay. The software was developed by them, the Dearu.
So it was custom-made for the system in the Gambia?
It's custom-made for the system in the Gambia. Yeah, but because they are not in operations, we started experiencing some issues. But what we did is to invite the HID, who have now taken over the operations of the Dearu, to do an assessment of the entire system and advise. But what they have advised is to entirely do away with this particular system and build a whole new system. And the cost that is involved in this is colossal. it doesn't really make sense because we still regard the MRP as a temporal measure. You know that since 2014, we have now had another passport, which is the biometric passport. We are only running the MRP because we are yet to deploy the biometric, the enrollment for biometric in the diaspora. So stopping this passport means the diaspora will not be able to get passport because they cannot be enrolled. And some of them, or most of them, will find it very difficult to come home to do their biometric passport. That's the reason why we still kept the MRP until such time that this deployment...
One would have thought that, the biometric would be easier to roll out to the diaspora because it's hinged on ECOWAS, which is, an international organization. And
yes, exactly. But it is far more beyond that because you need to deploy the equipment. The equipment for enrollment, and you need to deploy the personnel, and all this is at a cost.
ECOWAS could easily do that. I mean, if the equipment is deployed in America, for instance, it's not only Gambians who are from ECOWAS who are in the US. Nigerians are there, Sierra Leoneans are there, and they could do all of them together, couldn't they?
Yeah, but this is a sovereign matter. The passport is entirely belongs to the Gambian government.
Okay.
ECOWAS doesn't play a role in the issuance of these passports. All the entire cost will be borne by each government.
Okay. It simply identifies a Gambian as a citizen of ECOWAS.
Of ECOWAS, yes, but they do not play a role.
Yeah.
In the issuance, and they don't contribute any cost to that.
Okay. Just going back on the issue of cost.
Yes.
How much did HID, say it was going to cost to get a replacement?
I am not
or to fix this the MRP.
To build a new system.
Yes, a new system.
It's not to fix this one, but to build
a new system.
A new system. I think is in the excess of about 100 million. Gambian dollars, and we thought it is too much. So, Peter, what we did was to look in-house, in-country, for local expertise, to work on the system and see within the existing infrastructure whether they'll be able to build a software, that is compatible with the books that we procure from HID. At a much more lower cost. Like I said, this is still a temporal measure.
Yeah, and at any rate, we would pay in dollars.
Yes, we'll pay in dollars. Yeah. Of course, we'll pay in dollars. And we are able to be successful in this. Oh. We had local expertise who came and built a software within the existing infrastructure. Meaning, we are not doing away with the solution.
It's been rescued. The old system
has
been rescued.
Yes, it's been rescued. And thank God the system is up and running. We could have started printing last week.
Why didn't you?
That's a good question. What we have done is because the solution, the software that is built by the local expertise, means we have to have a new server again, which we have now gotten, we have fixed, and it is compatible with the software. But we didn't start printing because we wanted to migrate all the data from the old server to the new server. So that is what we have been doing since last week, since the solution was ready.
And you've been doing that without any problems at all?
We have been doing that now. This data is too much. It is in excess of about about 1 million records. Imagine all the passports that were issued since 2002 is many.
I'm sure my information
is there also. So we are migrating this data from the old server to the new server, and it proved to be a bit slow. That is why we didn't start printing. But I'm happy to announce, coincidentally, we are starting printing today.
Fantastic.
Yes, the backlog that we have received when the system went down is a bit much. We will prioritize that. We will start printing all those backlog before we now start receiving again.
Where will you start? With locals or Gambians in the diaspora?
In fact, all the MRP passports are for Gambians in the diaspora. The locals are not. We don't issue MRP to the locals because we advise that all locals get the biometric passport. So the MRP is strictly for people in the diaspora. So we have, currently we have about 1,000 applications since it broke down. To print. And
since it broke down 1,000, before it broke down?
There was no backlog. Yes, we don't have backlogs in the MRP system. We don't have backlogs. And I also want to clarify, the letter said since July, that is not the case. The passport system broke down on the 2nd of December. I even have the last passport that was printed. I have it. If it was not data protection issues.
So why would she have sent her passport back, paid the fee,
Yes.
and was unable to get, her passport if the machine only broke down in December.
It doubts me. I don't know how that happened, but I can categorically state that the passport system ceased operation on the 2nd of December. I still have, like I said, the data of the very last passport that was issued. If it was not data protection issue because it's somebody's personal data,
Yes.
I would have shown you, and you've seen that the date of issue was the 2nd of December.
Oh, wow.
So it is not since July. Since July, we have been, albeit the system was struggling, but we continued production. It's just shut down on the 2nd of December when we were in the middle of production. But like I said, now it's up and running due to the brilliant work that we had locally. We have tested, they have built the system, we have tested, we had test passports that were printed and they were read by any machine, and it is very compatible, with the books that we have. So from today, we will start printing all the passports. Yes. So we don't have a problem. It's like the letter also said why if the printers broke down. It's not about the issue of printers. It's the entire system, like I narrated. If nothing, even the printers we have are brand new. But because it's an entire system problem, that's why we didn't have. You remember the letter said if the printer broke down, how much will it take them to bring another printer? So it's not about printers; it's about the software, the hardware, the licensings, and on all that.
Okay.
Yes.
It's an opportunity to educate, all of us about, the passport system you have. Okay, she's just assuming that the books are usually printed. So, and you need printers to print books. So
yes, exactly.
You can understand why she would make reference to printers.
Yes, exactly.
So how does it work? So, an applicant comes in. What's the way? Because actually the issue of waiting time is also is also.
I think when you look at the sub-region, we have the fastest turnover time as far as passport issuance is concerned. Here, even the biometrics, the maximum time we give anybody is 2 weeks. In other countries, passports can go up to 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yes, in the sub-region, if you make a research, people apply for passports, it can take for 6 months. Maybe because it's the size of the population, how many people need. But I want to state that it is much more quicker to get a passport in Gambia than other countries. Issues may arise at times because this is technology, and sometimes passports can go longer than what is expected. But the minimum time that we can assure people is they will get their passports in 2 weeks, and 80% of the time we are able to deliver these passports within 2 weeks. Yes. So because the MRP is reserved for all the people in the diaspora, we expect them to send in the application. If it is a new renewal, you send in a copy of the expired passport. Somebody has to do this in your state because you are not here.
She made that very clear.
Yes, somebody has to do this because you are not here. Normally, going strictly by rules, you cannot apply passport in absentia.
Because you have to append your signature.
Exactly, things of that sort. But because we find ourselves in a situation whereby we need to relax certain requirements, because these people are not here and this passport is served for them, that means somebody has to do this in your behalf. So a relative, somebody has to come and buy the form for you, which is at $100. Fill the form, the relevant information, go to the JPs and have it authenticated, and attach that copy of the passport to the application plus your passport size picture. If it is a replacement, automatically we will receive this, the panel will vet it, approve it, and send it for production. But if it is a first-time application, the methodology that we have now adopted is that because this is a first-time applicant, we must interview you. So what we are now doing is to do video conference. Oh. So somebody who is transacting this for you will be appointed on a certain date to come. When he arrives, he will call you at our expense on video call. And then the interview panel will interview you. They will see you and interview you. If they are satisfied, plus the documents that you have presented before them, that you are a Gambian, then they will approve it. And then it will be sent for production. That is how it works. And we believe, and it is our conviction, that within 2 weeks we are able to finish this passport. And that particular person who is transacting for you will come and we will deliver this passport to you. And it can transmit to you, however the case may be.
So this interview panel, this panel is very important. So one can provide all the documentary requirement, and it still gets to this panel, and they decide, well, this Peter Gomez is suspicious. I don't think he is Gambian enough. Has that ever happened?
Yes, it happens. But people say we reject. We normally don't reject. The panel does not reject. We don't like using the word reject. We refer you for further proof. Most of the time when you come for interview, and because you are interfacing with them, and in their mind they are not satisfied, they ask you for further proof. For instance, because you know that most of the citizenship in the Gambia is mainly parental.
Yes, yes.
If you are born in the Gambia, one of your parents must be a Gambian, because we don't make these laws, they are there.
Yeah, there was a time when it had to be the man.
Yeah, but now either parent.
Yes.
Now it's either parent.
Yeah.
Yes, according to the law.
Yeah.
Even if you are born abroad, one of your parents must be Gambian. So we know these laws and we implement them. So, for instance, you didn't bring your parental document and you just bring an ID card, for instance, a birth certificate, and the panel is not satisfied. They may refer you to bring your father's ID card or your mother's ID card. So normally that's what they do, because the law gives them that opportunity to satisfy themselves. It's not just an automatic
What
event.
if your father had died years ago and you had lost?
You can bring your mother, your father's brother, your uncle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are all something that
You
we
can
accept.
bring an uncle, you can bring
Uncle,
an
yes,
aunt,
your father's younger brother, elder
all of
brother,
that.
or your mother's. Yes, all this is acceptable.
Yes, because one question I always
not-
struggled with, was always asking me when my parents were born.
No.
They never told me when they were born,
Yeah,
because
no,
in those
certainly.
days births were not registered.
That is not relevant, really. What is supposed to be relevant for them is to establish the fact that your parent is Gambian. So the age when he was born, maybe where he was born, perhaps is a relevant question, because you want to know the geography, whether it's within the territory of the Gambia. Yes, so that is how it works. So this panel vets, to confirm that they are issuing the passport to a Gambian citizen. That is their primary responsibility. Yes.
And I'm glad to hear you say that, the amount of data you are dealing with is so huge.
Yes.
Because in future, my great grandchild, for instance,
Yes.
might want, information regarding me, and they could just remember that, well, when he was alive, he traveled to country A, B, and C, and obviously, if we go to immigration, maybe, just maybe, his information might be available. And if the immigration department is storing all these all this information future reference,
Yes.
they could just find out.
Yeah, certainly. This data is there. It belongs to the government of the Gambia. Is a data that is there, protected. Normally, when you request, it have to be in writing, and it has to be approved by the Director General. And once that is done, it is sent to the passport office to verify or to give you information about somebody. Especially if you know the passport number, because people can have the same names, the same, yes. But sometimes you can also search by name and place of birth, yeah. So, but passport number makes it easier.
And how much information do you think is in the custody of Dearu? They developed this software. They probably were helping you manage it remotely, and which means that they had access to this data.
Yeah, but zero data. Zero data. This system was built in country here. And everything was 100% handed over from the word go. Like I said, they never operated it. It was designed, built, people were trained, and it was immediately transferred. And the immigration department took over the entire operations. So it is not like maybe the SEMLEX contract where they stayed around to operate it. This was build and transfer. Yes.
Well, since you've gone to SEMLEX, so what was the role of SEMLEX in the production?
SEMLEX was operating
in the production of passports.
SEMLEX was operating, the system, because that was a BOT, bill, operate, and transfer at the end of the contract. So, like I enumerated, for the passport application system, the immigration are the ones you interface with. They take your information, enroll you in the system. But when it comes to the production, not the product, but the control of the system, it was SEMLEX. They took charge of the system, how it works, the maintenance, everything was in their hands. The maintenance of the server and all that was directly in their hands. We didn't have anything to do with that until the end of the contract, when this now was handed over to us. Yes, so that is the difference. That was operate. They stayed around and operated during the entire contract period, and only handed over at the end. But it's different from the MRP. The MRP was just designed, built, and transferred from the word go.
Okay, because when Semlex left, you had all sorts of allegations that they have left with the entire database, and this was why the immigration department for a while could not produce documents. How true is that?
I doubt that is true. The servers are here. They are physical servers. They are nothing like data in the cloud or something. These are physical servers that were built in country here. Okay. In our premises. Okay. And these servers are still here, and we are still making use of them. And data is still inside these servers. So
before the lady's letter,
yes.
We had a Gambian in Spain complain about the cost of the passport. To use his language, they were being pushed to pay 300 euros, which we put to the minister. The following week, he came back and said that the Gambian passport for anyone in Europe should not cost more than 120 euros. What's the stipulated cost?
Yeah, the price, as far as we are concerned as the immigration department, for the MRP, that is the MRP passport.
I suppose, somebody in Spain would
get the MRP.
Referring to the MRP.
Yes, MRP is $3,000. 3,000 Gambian dollars. As a department, that is what we collect. And the application form is $100. Now, some of them lodge their applications through the embassies.
Yes.
And there is a possibility they may charge for administrative costs.
Okay.
Because it takes cost to send in this passport, and once they are printed, to have them sent back to these countries. They may have additional costs as administrative costs, but I may not know exactly how much is that. But the price in country, the official price in country, is $3,000 for the passport, and the application form is $100 a year. The 120 euros is the amount that is proposed for the biometric passport once it is deployed abroad, because the biometric passport is still under a concession with another company called Africa. I think you know about it.
Yes. Yeah.
So with government, they propose that once it is deployed, the price will be 120, and that amount will not even be payable at embassies. It will not be physically collected. What we have done is to develop an online payment platform. So people in the diaspora will not have to come physically when they are coming for enrollment. Once they apply, they will pay this amount through that online platform. And they'll simply go to the embassy to get themselves enrolled, to collect their biometrics. So, but we are yet to get to that.
Okay.
Yes, that 120 is stipulated for that.
Okay.
But MRP, officially, like I stated, is $3,000, and the application form is 100.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Commissioner Gassama, just by way of concluding this conversation so that you could get back to work, I am sure. Yes.
Peter, before I go, I just want to take the opportunity to announce that from 1st January, we have started issuing updated version of the biometric passport.
Updated?
Updated.
So mine is already outdated?
No, it's still valid. Yeah. If the expiry date is still valid, then the passport is still valid. But we are now issuing a new passport. It's the same passport, the coloring remains the same, the ordinary green, the service blue, and the diplomatic red. But the security features of the passport is updated, because it is the ICAO, the same ICAO,
yes.
A recommendation that if a travel document has been issued for over 10 years, there's a need to update the security features. And since we started our biometric passport in 2014, by 2024, it is already 10 years. So that is why by January 1st, we updated the passport. The pages look different. Oh. Yes, it is much more beautiful now. Oh. The pages have many historical sites in the country, and pictures of historical sites and things of that sort. And the cover is also
very good. Then nobody can mistake us for another country.
Exactly, for another country.
The stone circles.
The stone circles, the arch, and many other historical sites are depicted on the pages. It's much more colorful. The cover is more stronger, harder and stronger, and more durable. And there's a whole host of changes. It's just that the color of the covers remain the same, but the entire security features within the passport.
I wish we could find out who got the first, of this newly enhanced documents, so that
we can still find out.
So that we bring them in and find out how it compares to, previous passports.
Exactly. So we have sent specimens through the help of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to foreign countries all over the world. They are aware that now we are rolling out new passports. So that is what I just wanted to add.
Fantastic. And just finally, maybe by way of advice, especially to Gambians in the diaspora, who were worried, about the waiting time and all of that.
Yes, I just wanted to state, maybe sometimes people send their applications to individuals who are not very keen in helping them. Sometimes I know that adds to the delay.
And they keep informing them
that,
immigration,
great. Some people make excuses whilst they are not doing what is required.
Scapegoating
the GID. All these things happen. But sometimes also it's true that, like I stated, we have had issues with the system. Sometimes we can go 2-3 days. We are trying to fix 1 or 2 things on the system. That also used to cause some delays, I confess. But normally, 2 weeks. You apply, you lodge in your application. It can be less than that, but for satisfactory period is just 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yes, you log in and your processes are completed. We will be able to print these passports within 2 weeks. Yes.
Commissioner Gassama, thank you very much for coming in this morning to clarify.
Thank you very much, Peter.
We thank the Commissioner of Processing at the Gambia Immigration Department, Commissioner Fode Gassama. It's coffee time with Peter Gomez on West Coast Radio.